Hi there, it's Louis Lotman with another case study with one of our clients here at Supreme Outsourcing, Jessica Hughes from Hughes Marketing Solutions. Hi Jessica, how are you?
Hi, Louis. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. So what we're doing is we're finding out from a lot of our happy clients what it is that they use Supreme Outsourcing for, how you went about choosing us, and a lot of other information. So if you just want to start, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it is that Supreme or that Hughes Marketing Solution does?
Sure. Hughes Marketing Solutions is essentially an outsourced virtual marketing company. We provide sources and resources to businesses that are growing who need marketing services. That is anything from public relations to event planning to social media. We pretty much run the gamut. Anything that anybody needs in the marketing department, we are able to do that.
Okay, and I know you have a couple of in-house employees that are working with you, correct?
That is correct.
And what are some of the tasks that you have them doing in-house?
Sure. In-house, a lot of my employees really focus on the project management and meeting with the clients face-to-face. They do a lot more on the event management side, I'd have to say.
Okay, and I know that you've been using our company for about a year, and you're doing one of the project management packages. So you have a project manager that you're working with who is managing a team of our virtual assistants. Just to start, what are some of the things that you have Supreme Outsourcing do for you?
Sure. For Supreme Outsourcing, I really focus a lot of it is on the graphics and web development that we don't actually do in-house. It's been an amazing asset to really allow on logo design. A lot of the events we do, we need flyers or brochures, things created extremely quickly. And really, I'd say the major focus is on that as well as web design. We work with content management solutions, and they do anything from updating people's websites to creating a blog, maybe working even on the Twitter feed of the site. So I've had a lot of help in that. In addition, they've really helped on the administrative things that needed to be completed. Anything from last-minute tasks to really researching things that we just don't have the time in-house to do. So I think they've been extremely effective on the research.
Yeah, and I know that you've been giving us a lot of graphic work and web development work. Typically, prior to finding us, what were you paying an hour for your graphic designer or your web developers?
Sure. Roughly about $30 to $40 an hour.
$30 to $40 an hour, and typically you'd have how many hours per week of that kind of work?
I'd say roughly about 10 hours a week we're just focused on graphic and design.
Okay. And now that you've found Supreme Outsourcing, do you know what you're paying with Supreme Outsourcing per hour?
I know it's definitely lower, and it's a much quicker turnaround time,
Yeah.
effective, and a lot less stress.
Yeah. Well, you're down just under $10 an hour. Actually, is where you're at. What's your experience been so far? So I know that you found us and you've been delegating work to us for some time. Talk to us about the quality of the work, the speed of the turnaround. Maybe you can just share a little bit about that.
Sure. When I began, I actually had a lot of hesitation, thinking that I was going to be outsourcing and they weren't going to be in-house. For me, I'm a very people person, and I really have always liked the interaction of somebody in-house. So I had a little bit, I'll be quite honest, of fear that I wouldn't be able to have control over the projects with them not being there.
Is that why it took us so long to get you on board after talking to you for months, would you say?
That is correct. It's something that's quite new to me. I didn't have any experience in it, and I wasn't sure if it was an avenue that I was ready for. But, I appreciate you really steering me in that direction because I've really learned a lot about how I manage people. And it's really allowed me a lot of energy and time and not spending the resources turning my wheels in circles. They're extremely efficient. For me, I've learned the best way for me is just to send an email. and then I have them send me an email back confirming that they understand it. The great thing about it is I go to sleep, I go ahead, I send that email out at the end of the day, and when I wake up in my inbox is that completed task.
Wow.
So for me, every morning is a little bit like a holiday. And I really like, actually, the time change for me.
Yeah.
It's been extremely...
What's interesting with our clients, you can really choose the hours that you want to have the work done. If you want our team working during regular USA business hours, you can have that. Or if you want the work done at night, you can have that as well. How was it getting started? I mean, was there a learning curve for you in terms of having to delegate this work outside of your office? I mean, how quickly did you say you picked it up? Was it long? Was it short? Was it painful? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Right. I anticipated it was going to be extremely painful. That's probably why I dragged my feet and a little bit nervous, quite honestly, about it. The woman that I have, Michelle, we had a quick conference call, and she assured me that she'd take great care of me. And I, got off that conference call a little bit like, okay, it's training a new employee, essentially. I'm going to have this 2-month learning curve. But I didn't experience that. She pretty much, every task I gave her in the beginning, if she didn't understand it, she followed up with an email or a Google Talk message. So she was extremely proactive. By her being proactive, I really didn't have to micromanage. I really didn't have the stress that I had anticipated because she came to me with the questions that she had, which I truly appreciated.
How was it, I know what it's like trying to find someone to do work for you. How does it feel now that you have one point of contact for all of your work versus, again, I don't know your situation, but is it possible before working with us, maybe you didn't have a developer or a graphic designer or an assistant or whoever, they weren't available to do the work, or a contractor? I mean, have you ever been in the past trying to find someone to do the work and you just couldn't, it took time, and you have deadlines and stuff like that?
I mean, really, that was my biggest hurdle. I had a great team of people that I could use. I did not I felt that I couldn't afford to keep them on board, and the hours that they needed to be happy to really put my company as priority number one. So they were completing the task, but not as quick as I needed it because they were working with 10 other businesses.
Yeah.
So that was really where I was coming from. And I thought that, when I was outsourcing it, I actually expected that, okay, I'm one of multiple companies who are potentially providing information to them, what's going to be the turnaround. Boy, was I impressed how quickly and efficiently they've done it. It saved me hours a week. Truly, I'd have to say hours a week. I used to have to deal with about 5 different people, and now I'm one person. So by the time you're meeting with a client, you're getting the information, you're delegating that to 5 people in order to create one common goal. You almost spend as much time communicating it to the 5 people as if you would have just sat down and done it yourself. There was times when I look back, and I really truly believe if I would have sat down for an hour, I probably would have gotten it done exactly how I wanted it, as opposed to spending an hour explaining it to everyone.
Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about that. What it was like having to talk to 5, 6, 7 different people, or how many ever people that you had contractors, versus our one project manager who is your one point of contact for accountability, responsibility, managing the project from beginning to end. Tell me about what that means to you.
Right. Essentially, every single day I'd have my cell phone charged, and by about lunchtime, my cell phone would be dead. Right. On my lunch break, I would be recharging my phone for the afternoon. That's how long I was on the phone trying to communicate the message. Now I can go into the office for the entire day and not have to charge my cell phone. And to me, that is hours saved over the week. I'd have to say that truly sums it up. When you're trying to focus on your business and grow a business, and you're really trying to move forward, you cannot spend your entire day communicating the message that you need to employees. It needs to be executed. And what I was really lacking in was the execution, because I really couldn't execute unless I spent my whole day communicating, but then I couldn't be with clients. So it allowed me to free up, let's just say about 2 hours a day. And in those 2 hours, I now don't have to I'm spending those 2 hours to grow my business as opposed to just reacting and trying to maintain my business.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing that a lot of entrepreneurs fall in, where they're trying to grow their business, but they don't have time because of all the stuff that needs to be done. What advice, Jessica, would you have for someone who's watching this video, maybe that's thinking of outsourcing, that is thinking of outsourcing to Supreme Outsourcing, and is watching this and might be in the same situation that they spent several months dragging their feet before making the decision? I mean, what advice would you give someone?
My number one piece of advice would turn off the computer, turn off everything, sit down for about 30 minutes and put together a list of tasks that you continuously do, and that's a great starting point. Do you update your social media 3 times a week? Are you repeating and sending out somewhat of a similar email and rewriting it every time? I would say take a full week and try to take that 30 minutes and try to create almost templates of what you're continuously doing. I think you cannot outsource until you know that. If you just get somebody and you're like, hey, do this, do that, you're again going to spend all of your time communicating. So really focusing on what do I continuously do that I don't physically need to be doing every single week. Once you really obtain that, I think by a week, that's when I would go ahead and start with those tasks and let the person start. That's their introduction to outsourcing and learning how to manage that process. Once you have that process and you feel confident, then go ahead and start implementing new tasks. That would be my number one goal, is getting it on paper.
Do you think there's any reason why someone should be concerned or hesitate, or do you think they should just give it a shot?
Right. One of those, if you've never done it and you've heard stories about it, horror stories, and you hear that people are unaware or not, if you've never experienced it, you don't know. My biggest thing is try it. You really don't have anything to lose, right? I mean, try it for a month. Anybody's willing to put it out. If it doesn't work, you know what? Then move forward with the process that you're going to do. But if it can help you, let's just even say an hour or 2 a week. Those are that can be put into growing your business. So the way I saw it eventually, I thought, I'm spinning my wheels. If I continue to do what I'm doing, it's not going to get better. You realize it can only maintain. So what do I have to lose? And that's kind of really where I was at. You know what, I'm willing to try this or I'm willing to try that. It's worth a try. And if it doesn't work, then you can always go back. But you're not going to, there is no true solution if you're an entrepreneur to get everything done in your day. There's just enough work.
How do you feel about the fact that we just bill your credit card every month? You don't have to sit there writing a check to us or cashing a check or worry about accounting. How do you feel that it's a seamless transition every single month?
I absolutely love it, especially since I outsourced my accounting and having to manage that. To me, it's one less. So I appreciate knowing that the person is going to get paid exactly the day they should get. I don't have to worry about that, because to me that's essentially the relationship that the person who's doing the outsourcing will always be satisfied, and I don't have the stress of I'm traveling a lot, that is a check going to get lost in the mail. Am I sending it from the East Coast to the West Coast? Am I sending it to this person? Did it not clear? I mean, to me that's just one added stress, that it's such a small stress, but those small stresses add up.
Yeah. Well, Jessica, is there anything else that, I'll put myself on the line here. Is there anything that you would improve about Supreme Outsourcing service?
I actually think you've got a great model. Quite honestly, it's allowed me to eat dinner with my husband for once. I'd have to say that's my biggest answer. Before, there was no dinner. It was dinner while working, and for once, I can actually cook the dinner, eat it, and clear the table.
All right. So is that thumbs up or thumbs down? What do you give us here?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right. Jessica from Hughes Marketing Solutions, thank you very much. If you're watching this and you're considering utilizing Supreme Outsourcing, or just want to think about or talk about outsourcing, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Go ahead and contact us. Let us have a conversation. We will give you a free consultation, and we would love to help you the same way we've helped Jessica Hughes with Hughes Marketing Solutions. free up more of her time, focus on what matters most, and drive additional revenue by building her business rather than working in the business on a daily basis. Jessica Hughes, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Liz. Have a great day.
Take care.